If you are a Toronto Blue Jays fan right now, buckle up, because the last 48 hours have been an absolute roller coaster ride of emotions, and this story has everything: heartbreak, resilience, a secret signing nobody is talking about, and a 41-year-old legend reminding the entire baseball world that he is absolutely not done. We are breaking all of it down right here, right now, so before you do anything else today, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications because you do not want to miss a single second of what we are covering on this channel. Let's get into it. Let's start with the elephant in the room, the story that has every single Blue Jays fan holding their breath and checking their phones every 5 minutes for updates. Cody Ponce. What happened to this man is nothing short of devastating, and when you understand the full weight of his journey to get back to the big leagues, it genuinely hurts on a human level. This is not just a baseball story. This is a story about perseverance, sacrifice, and the absolutely cruel randomness of sports. For those who need a quick recap, Cody Ponce stepped onto the Rogers Center mound on March 30th for his first Major League Baseball start since October of 2021. Think about that for a second. This man had not pitched in an MLB game in 5 full years. He had spent 3 seasons rebuilding himself in Japan, then another year in South Korea where he absolutely dominated, posting a jaw-dropping 1.89 ERA across 180 and 2/3 innings for the Hanwha Eagles in 2025. He completely reinvented himself as a pitcher, mastering a devastating new pitch called the kick change, which is what convinced the Blue Jays to hand him a 3-year, $30 million contract this past winter. He was supposed to be one of the feel-good stories of the 2026 season. The comeback kid. The underdog who went to Asia, figured it all out, and came home ready to dominate. And for 2 innings, it looked like that story was going to deliver everything we hoped for. Then, in the 3rd inning against the Colorado Rockies, Cody Ponce lunged after a soft ground ball off the bat of outfielder Jake McCarthy and his right knee just gave way. He collapsed to the ground. The dugout went silent. The Rogers Center crowd went silent. And within minutes, Cody Ponce was being carted off the field, his Blue Jays debut over before it barely began. It was one of the most heartbreaking images you will see in baseball this year, and that is not an exaggeration. The initial report from the team was vague: right knee discomfort, which had some fans cautiously hoping it was something minor, maybe a hyperextension, maybe a couple of weeks on the shelf and then back out there. That hope was crushed the following day when manager John Schneider faced reporters and delivered the official diagnosis: a sprained right ACL. Ponce will miss significant time. Surgery has not been ruled out. Doctors are still reviewing the MRI to determine the full extent of the damage, and the Blue Jays are sending Ponce to Los Angeles to be seen by Dr. Neil ELATRASH, one of the most prominent orthopedic surgeons in all of baseball. The fact that they are going to ELATRASH tells you everything you need to know about how seriously the organization is taking this. When Schneider was asked whether there was any chance Ponce pitches again in 2026, he left the door cracked open, barely, saying there is a slight chance of that, but the organization's worry is clear. We are almost certainly looking at months, not weeks, and there is a very real possibility that Cody Ponce's 2026 season is over before April even ends. After everything he went through, after all the years overseas, after the reinvention, after finally landing the contract he deserved and getting the call to start for a World Series contender, a soft ground ball in the 3rd inning. Sports can be absolutely brutal. Schneider also gave us a glimpse into just how emotionally devastating this has been behind the scenes. He said he talked to Ponce until 1 in the morning, just the 2 of them, working through everything. And he said Ponce has a good perspective on it, that he is frustrated for sure, but that he is handling it like the tough competitor he has always been. That tells you a lot about the character of this guy. All you can do right now is send Cody Ponce your support, hope that surgery is not necessary, and pray that if the Jays find themselves in a playoff race in August or September, maybe there is a Marcus Stroman 2015 moment waiting to happen. You might remember that Stroman got hurt before that season even started and still came back to pitch meaningful innings in that magical playoff run. Let us hold on to that hope for Cody Ponce. Now here is where things get very interesting from a roster management standpoint, because Ponce's injury does not exist in a vacuum. The Toronto Blue Jays entered this season already dealing with significant pitching depth concerns. Jose Berrios is on the injured list with an elbow stress fracture from spring training. Shane Bieber is on the shelf with elbow inflammation. Trey Yesavage has a shoulder impingement. Bowden Francis is gone for the year after Tommy John surgery. Jake Bloss is still recovering from his own surgery. Ricky Tiedemann is injured as well. The Blue Jays' injured list right now is carrying what is legitimately a better rotation than several teams in baseball could put on the field at full health. So now you lose Ponce too, and suddenly your healthy starting rotation is Kevin Gausman, Dylan Cease, Max Scherzer, and Eric Lauer. That is 4 pitchers. Ponce's spot comes up on Sunday. Schneider has already confirmed they are not going to bump anyone up in the rotation around off days to cover for it. Smart decision. You are only 5 games into the season, you cannot start burning extra matches on your remaining healthy starters this early. So someone is going to have to step up. Someone is going to have to fill that hole. Which brings us to a move that almost nobody has been talking about, and honestly that is a crime, because when you look at the context of everything going on with this rotation, this is quietly one of the more interesting roster decisions the Blue Jays have made in a while. The Blue Jays signed right-hander Austin Voth to a minor league contract. The team never formally announced it, which is why it slipped under the radar for so many people, but Voth showed up in Buffalo for the AAA team and is already pitching. Let me tell you about Austin Voth, because his story is genuinely fascinating and his stats are going to surprise you. He is 33 years old, a right-hander originally from Redmond, Washington, drafted by the Washington Nationals in the 5th round of the 2013 draft out of the University of Washington. He has been around the block in Major League Baseball, spending time with the Nationals, Baltimore Orioles, and most recently the Seattle Mariners. Across parts of 7 big league seasons, he has thrown over 360 innings at the major league level with a career ERA of 4.70, logging more than 200 appearances total. But here is the twist that makes the Voth signing genuinely compelling given the current situation. In 2024 with the Seattle Mariners, Voth was quietly excellent, posting a 3.69 ERA across 61 innings in 68 games out of the bullpen, with a 25% strikeout rate and strong command. That is a legitimately useful pitcher. Then in 2025, rather than sitting idle in the minors somewhere, Voth took his talents to Japan and pitched for the Chiba Lotte Marines in Nippon Professional Baseball. He made 22 starts, threw 125 innings, and posted a 3.96 ERA with solid command and 92 strikeouts. Every single one of his appearances was as a starter, which is critical right now because the Jays need length, not just relief. So you have a pitcher who has more than 200 big league appearances under his belt, who spent all of last year starting in Japan and showing he can handle a starting workload, who comes with legitimate major league experience in both relief and starting roles. The Chicago White Sox had him in spring training camp on a minor league deal, cut him when they finalized their roster, and the Blue Jays immediately scooped him up. He made his Buffalo debut already, going 3 innings with 2 strikeouts, no walks, and a couple of solo home runs. 3 innings is not flashy, but understand that he barely got any game reps during the White Sox spring camp, so his pitch count limits were expected. He is going to continue stretching out in Buffalo, and given what has happened to this rotation over the last 2 days, do not be shocked if Austin Voth gets a call to Toronto sooner than anyone expected. He is not alone as an option. Lazaro Estrada was already recalled to take Ponce's roster spot immediately, and manager Schneider also mentioned Adam Macko, CJ Van Eyck, and Chad Dallas as options for Sunday's start. Each of those arms brings something different to the table, and there is a real possibility the Jays use a combination of guys over the next few weeks until Berrios and Yesavage get healthy enough to return. Berrios and Yesavage are reportedly a couple of weeks away from being able to pitch again, which gives everyone a light at the end of the tunnel, but in the meantime this is a genuine challenge that this organization is going to have to manage very carefully. Now, before all the doom and gloom swallows us completely, let us talk about Tuesday night's game, because the Toronto Blue Jays needed a bounce-back win badly after the emotional devastation of Monday's 14-5 loss to the Rockies, the game in which Ponce went down, and boy did they ever deliver one. Max Scherzer. At 41 years old in his 19th Major League season, this man went out and delivered exactly what this team needed more than anything, 6 innings of 1-run ball, 4 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, on 83 pitches. The Blue Jays won 5-1. Scherzer earned the win. And in doing so, he became the oldest pitcher to log 6 or more innings in a game since R.A. Dickey did it back in 2016. He held the Rockies off the board through 5 full innings before yielding a solo home run to Hunter Goodman in the 6th, and even then, the bullpen closed it out cleanly, with Mason Fluharty, Braden Fisher, and Jeff Hoffman finishing the job without drama. It was a complete, professional performance at exactly the moment this franchise needed one. And after the game, Scherzer gave us one of the most endearing quotes of the young season. He credited his improved health to an unconventional solution to his lingering thumb issues. He took up playing piano. That is right. 3-time Cy Young Award winner Max Scherzer started playing piano, figured out how to fix his thumb problem, came back to Toronto on a 1-year $3 million deal with incentives, and is now the emotional anchor of this pitching staff at an age when most players are watching games from a luxury suite. He said his hand is in a great spot and his arm is in a great spot, and that this was exactly what he wanted to happen last year. Mad Max is back, folks, and this team needs every single one of those 6 innings he can give them. The timing of Scherzer's dominance cannot be overstated. If he goes out on Tuesday and has a rough start, gives up 5 runs in 3 innings, leaves the bullpen completely gassed for the 2nd consecutive night, this situation could spiral very quickly. Instead, he kept the Rockies off balance, gave the bullpen a night of rest, and steadied the ship at exactly the right moment. The man is a competitor in the truest sense of the word, and Blue Jays fans should feel genuinely lucky to have him on this roster right now. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was also outstanding on Tuesday, reaching base 4 times, going 2 for 3 with 2 walks, and continuing his early season form that has Jays fans buzzing. And then there is Kazuma Okamoto, who has been making a name for himself in the early going despite facing some of the toughest pitching in the league. By one advanced metric measuring the quality of opposition pitchers, Okamoto has faced the 2nd toughest stuff in all of baseball in the young season, trailing only Kyle Tucker's opposition. That context is important when evaluating his early results. He is not facing soft competition. He is being thrown to the wolves every single night and he is holding his own. And let us give some serious credit to Jesus Sanchez, who delivered a huge RBI single in the 5th inning of Tuesday's win and has been everything the Blue Jays hoped for since acquiring him from the Miami Marlins. Sanchez reportedly came out after the game talking about how much he loves being part of this team, raving about the vibes, the atmosphere, the culture in that clubhouse. Thank you, Miami, for that one. So here is where things stand for the Toronto Blue Jays right now. They are 4-1 on the season despite everything. They have already dealt with a rotation that looks more like a hospital ward than a starting staff. They have a 41-year-old ace who plays piano in his spare time and throws 6-inning gems when the team needs them most. They have a secret AAA signing quietly stretching out in Buffalo who could be walking into Rogers Center before you know it. And they have a World Series rematch against the Los Angeles Dodgers coming up in less than a week on April 6th through the 8th. Which means everything they do between now and then carries extra weight. The Cody Ponce situation is genuinely devastating, both for the player and for this team's short-term and long-term planning. On the long-term side, with Gausman, Bieber, Scherzer, and Lauer all potentially hitting free agency after this season, Ponce was supposed to be one of the cornerstones of the 2027 rotation alongside Dylan Cease and Trey Yesevich. That picture just got a whole lot murkier. Even in a best-case scenario where he avoids surgery and comes back later this season, the lingering questions about what version of Cody Ponce shows up in 2027 are going to be real. This is a franchise-altering injury, not just a 2026 issue. But here is the thing about this Blue Jays team that has been the most encouraging thing to watch in the early going. They do not quit. They do not fold. When Ponce went down Monday night and that game turned into a disaster, they showed up Tuesday and played clean baseball. Scherzer was a lion. The lineup got hits when they needed them. The bullpen did its job. And sitting at 4-1 while operating basically short-handed in the rotation is a testament to the depth of this roster and the character in that clubhouse. The next few weeks are going to be a genuine test, and how this team responds will tell us a lot about whether they have what it takes to defend an American League pennant. Watch Austin Voth in Buffalo. Watch how Lazaro Estrada handles his opportunity. Watch whether Adam Macko gets his shot. And above all, watch Max Scherzer keep doing what he has been doing, because if Mad Max continues to channel whatever energy he is channeling, piano playing and all, this team is going to be just fine. Prayers and positive energy to Cody Ponce on his road to recovery. His comeback story is not over. It is just taking an unexpected detour. We will be following every update on his injury evaluation with Dr. Elatrash and bringing it to you the moment news breaks. That is going to do it for this one, folks. If you made it this far, you are clearly a real one, and this community would not be what it is without you. Do us a favor, drop a comment down below and tell us what you think about the Austin Voth signing. Did you even hear about it before watching this video? What is your honest take on how the Jays get through the next few weeks with their rotation situation? And if you want to see our full coverage of the upcoming Dodgers series rematch and every Cody Ponce injury update as it breaks, make sure you are subscribed and have the notification bell turned on so you never miss a video. Like this video if it brought you value today, share it with a fellow Jays fan who needs to hear this news.